The gun clicked. Jin-Woo Park stood in the middle of the dark warehouse, his expensive black suit perfect, his face showing no fear. 10 men surrounded him, all pointing guns at his head. But Jin-Woo wasn't looking at them. He wasn't looking at the guns. He was looking at her. The girl with the bright smile who handed him a flyer on the street 3 hours ago. The girl who made his cold heart beat for the first time in 10 years. The girl who was now tied to a chair, tears running down her beautiful brown face, a piece of cloth covering her mouth. "Choose, Jin-Woo," said the man in the shadows. "Your life or hers?" Jin-Woo's hand moved slowly to his pocket. Everyone's fingers tightened on their triggers. The girl's eyes went wide with fear. She shook her head desperately, trying to tell him to save himself. But Jin-Woo Park never did what people expected. What happened 3 hours ago that led to this terrible moment? And why would the most powerful and cold mafia boss in Seoul risk everything for a girl he just met? Drop a comment below telling us where you're watching from, and let's dive into this crazy story. 3 hours earlier, the morning sun was bright over the busy streets of Gangnam, Seoul. Jin-Woo Park sat in the back of his black Mercedes, looking out the window with empty eyes. His driver, Mr. Choi, knew better than to talk to him. Nobody talked to Jin-Woo unless he talked first. Jin-Woo was 28 years old, but looked like he had lived 100 years. His face was handsome, strong jaw, sharp eyes, perfect black hair, but it was like looking at a statue. No smile, no warmth, just cold, hard stone. He was the CEO of Park Industries, the biggest company in South Korea. Everyone thought he sold electronics and buildings. But the people who really knew, they knew Jin-Woo Park was the secret king of the Korean underworld. He controlled everything, the money, the deals, the power. When Jin-Woo spoke, even the government listened quietly. But there was one thing nobody could understand about Jin-Woo Park. He had no interest in women. Zero. Beautiful actresses tried to meet him. Rich daughters of powerful families sent him gifts. Models, singers, business women. It didn't matter. Jin-Woo would look at them the same way he looked at a wall, like they didn't exist. His men had a joke. Boss's heart is colder than ice in winter. The car stopped at a red light near Myeongdong shopping district. Jin-Woo glanced out the window at the crowds of people. Students, tourists, shop workers, all living their simple, happy lives. Lives he would never understand. That's when he saw her. She was standing on the corner, holding a big stack of colorful papers, flyers for some restaurant or shop. Her skin was dark and beautiful, glowing in the sunlight. She wore simple clothes, blue jeans, and a yellow t-shirt, but she looked like sunshine turned into a person. Her hair was in long braids that danced when she moved. But the most shocking thing was her smile. She was happy. Really, truly happy. She danced a little as she handed flyers to people passing by. Most people ignored her or walked past quickly. But she didn't stop smiling. When someone took a flyer, she would bow and say something cheerful. When they didn't, she just kept dancing and smiling. Jin-Woo stared. He couldn't help it. In his whole life, he had never seen someone so alive. "Sir?" Mr. Choi's voice broke through his thoughts. "The light is green." "Stop the car," Jin-Woo said suddenly. Mr. Choi almost crashed. "What?" "I said stop the car. Here. Now." The Mercedes pulled over quickly. The two bodyguards in the front seat looked at each other with confused faces. Boss never got out of the car randomly. Never. Jin-Woo opened the door himself before anyone could help him. He stepped onto the busy sidewalk in his expensive suit that cost more than most people's cars. People noticed him immediately and moved out of his way. Rich, powerful people had a certain energy. Jin-Woo had more than most. He walked toward the girl with the flyers. She was facing away from him, trying to hand a flyer to an old woman. The old woman took it, and the girl clapped her hands with joy like she had won a prize. "Thank you so much, Grandma," she said in Korean, but with a heavy accent. "The noodles are really delicious. I promise." Her Korean was broken and wrong, but somehow that made it more real. More honest. Jin-Woo stopped a few steps behind her. Up close, he could hear her humming a song. An American song, something with a happy melody. She turned around suddenly to hand a flyer to the next person. And suddenly she was facing him directly. Their eyes met. Amara Johnson had been in Seoul for 2 months. She came from Atlanta, Georgia, USA, to study Korean language and culture for a year. She loved everything about Korea. The food, the music, the fashion, the kind people. Well, most people were kind. Some people stared at her because she looked different. But Amara's mama always taught her. Baby girl, you smile at the world and the world will smile back. So Amara smiled at everyone. Even when things were hard. Even when she ran out of money and had to take this part-time job handing out flyers in the hot sun for 6 hours a day. But when she turned around and saw the man in the black suit staring at her, her smile almost disappeared. He was scary. Not scary like dangerous, although something told her he was dangerous. Scary like too perfect. Too handsome. Too intense. His eyes were so dark they looked black, and they were staring at her like she was the only person in the entire world. Nobody had ever looked at Amara like that before. Hello, she said in her cheerful voice, forcing her smile back. She held out a flyer with a slightly shaking hand. Would you like to try Seoul's best noodle restaurant? Special discount today. Jin-Woo didn't take the flyer. He just kept staring at her face. Amara felt her cheeks get warm. Was something wrong? Did she have food on her face? Free drink if you come before 6 p.m.? She tried again, speaking slower in case he didn't understand. Jin-Woo finally moved. He reached out, but instead of taking the flyer, his hand gently touched hers. Not grabbing. Just touching. Barely. Like he was making sure she was real. Amara's heart jumped. Sir, what's your name? Jin-Woo asked. His voice was deep and quiet, but it somehow cut through all the noise of the busy street. I'm Amara. Amara Johnson. She tried to pull her hand back gently, but his fingers followed for just a second before letting go. Are you okay, sir? Jin-Woo's face didn't change, but something happened in his eyes. Something small. A tiny crack in the ice. Amara, he repeated slowly, like he was tasting the word. You're not from here. No, sir. I'm from America. Atlanta. I'm studying here. She smiled nervously. This man was so strange. Do you want a flyer or? Before Jin-Woo could answer, a loud, rude voice interrupted. Yeah, girl. Amara's boss, Mr. Huang, pushed through the crowd. He was a short, fat man with mean eyes and a red face. He grabbed Amara's arm roughly. Why are you talking? I don't pay you to talk. I pay you to give flyers. Give. Flyers. I was just Amara started. Shut up. Stupid foreign girl. You hand out too slow. Too slow. Mr. Huang raised his hand like he might hit her. Jin-Woo moved so fast that nobody saw it coming. His hand caught Mr. Huang's wrist in midair, gripping it so hard that the fat man's face turned white with pain. Don't, Jin-Woo said quietly. Touch. Her. Mr. Huang tried to pull his hand away, but Jin-Woo's grip was like iron. Who are you? Let go. I'll call the police. Jin-Woo's bodyguards had appeared from nowhere, surrounding them. Everyone on the street stopped to watch. Do you know who I am? Jin-Woo asked in a soft, dangerous voice. Mr. Huang looked closer at Jin-Woo's face. His eyes went wide. His mouth opened. All the color drained from his face completely. PP Park. Chairman Park? He stuttered. I'll buy your restaurant, Jin-Woo said simply. Name your price. You have 10 seconds. What? It's not 4-8 seconds. Chairman Park, please, 5 seconds. 10 million won. No, wait, dash. Done. My assistant will contact you tomorrow. Now apologize to her. Mr. Huang turned to Amara, who was completely confused. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry, miss. Please forgive me. Jin-Woo finally let go of the man's wrist. Mr. Huang ran away so fast he dropped his phone. Amara stood there with her mouth open. What just happened? Jin-Woo turned back to her. For the first time in 10 years, his lips moved into something that almost looked like a smile. It was tiny, almost invisible, but it was there. You don't work for him anymore, Jin-Woo said. But that's my job. I need money for rent and dash. You'll work for me instead. I'll what? Jin-Woo pulled out a business card from his pocket. It was black with silver letters. He held it out to her. Come to this address tomorrow. 9 a.m. Don't be late. Amara automatically took the card. Wait, I don't understand. I can't just dash. You make people smile, Jin-Woo said suddenly. When you hand them flyers, they take them because you smile. That's a valuable skill. It's just being friendly. Most people have forgotten how. Jin-Woo looked at her face one more time, like he was taking a picture with his eyes. Tomorrow, 9 a.m. He turned and walked back to his car. The bodyguards followed him. The Mercedes drove away, leaving Amara standing on the corner with a stack of flyers in one hand and a mysterious business card in the other. She looked at the card. It said, Park Industries, Chairman Park Jin-Woo, with an address in the fanciest part of Seoul. What in the world? Amara whispered. She didn't know that in that moment, her simple life had just become very, very complicated. She didn't know that the cold-hearted Mafia CEO had just felt his frozen heart crack open for the first time. And she definitely didn't know that this choice, whether to go to that address tomorrow or not, would lead to the most dangerous night of her life. Amara stared at the black business card in her hand for the 100th time. It was 8:30 a.m., and she was standing outside the tallest, shiniest building she had ever seen in her life. The Park Industries headquarters looked like something from a science fiction movie, all glass and steel, reaching up into the cloudy Seoul sky like a giant's tower. This is crazy, she whispered to herself. Mama would tell me to run away and never look back. But Amara's bank account had only 50,000 won left, about $40. Her rent was due in 5 days. Mr. Huang had sent her a text last night saying she was fired and he wouldn't pay her for the last 3 days of work. She needed money. And this mysterious, scary, handsome man had said she would work for him. Okay, Amara, she told herself, taking a deep breath. Just go in, see what he wants, and if it's weird, you leave. Simple. She walked through the giant glass doors. The lobby was like a palace. White marble floors so shiny she could see her reflection. Waterfalls on the walls. Beautiful plants everywhere. People in expensive suits walking fast, talking on phones, looking important. Everyone was Korean. Amara was the only black person in sight. People stared at her as she walked to the reception desk. Hello, Amara said to the pretty receptionist lady. I think I have a meeting? With Chairman Park. The receptionist's face changed completely. Her eyes went huge. Chairman Park? You have a meeting with Chairman Park? I think so. He gave me this card yesterday and told me to come at 9 a.m. The receptionist grabbed the card like it was made of gold. She looked at it, then at Amara, then at the card again. Then she picked up the phone so fast she almost dropped it. Director Kong. There's a foreign woman here. She says Chairman Park told her to come. Yes, sir. She hung up and smiled at Amara, but it was a nervous, scared smile. Please wait here. Mississippi, someone is coming. 2 minutes later, a tall man in glasses rushed out of the elevator. He looked tired, like he hadn't slept in days. He saw Amara and stopped dead. You're the flyer girl? Amara felt embarrassed. Yes, that's me. I'm Amara Johnson. I'm Director Kong, Chairman Park's assistant. He bowed quickly. Please follow me. The chairman is waiting. The elevator ride to the top floor was the longest, most awkward 2 minutes of Amara's life. Director Kong kept staring at her like she was an alien. May I ask, he said carefully, how do you know Chairman Park? I don't really know him, Amara admitted. I was handing out flyers yesterday, and he just appeared, and said I should work for him. I don't even know what the job is. Director Kang's face showed that he didn't understand either. In his 5 years working for Jin-Woo, the chairman had never, ever hired someone like this. Jin-Woo only hired people after months of background checks and investigations. The elevator doors opened to a floor that was even fancier than the lobby. They walked down a long hallway to a pair of massive black doors. Director Kong knocked softly. Chairman, Miss Johnson is here. Send her in. Alone. Director Kong opened the door for Amara, and she walked into the biggest office she had ever seen. One whole wall was just windows, showing all of Seoul below like a map. The furniture was all black and silver. Expensive art on the walls. And behind a huge desk sat Jin-Woo Park, looking just as perfect and scary as yesterday. The door closed behind her with a soft click. You came, Jin-Woo said. He sounded surprised? Happy. It was hard to tell with his stone face. You said 9 a.m. I'm 3 minutes early. Amara tried to sound brave, but her voice shook a little. Sit. Jin-Woo pointed to the chair across from his desk. Amara sat down carefully. The chair was so fancy she was afraid she might break it. They stared at each other for a long moment. Jin-Woo's dark eyes studied her face like he was reading a book. Why did you come? He asked suddenly. Because. I need a job. You said I would work for you. You could have ignored me. Thrown away the card. I'm a stranger. Amara shifted in her chair. Yes, but you helped me yesterday. You saved me from my mean boss. And you seemed, I don't know, serious. Like you really meant it. I always mean what I say. Okay then. Amara sat up straighter. What's the job? I can do many things. I'm good with computers. I can teach English. I'm learning Korean. I work hard in Dash. I want you to teach me how to smile. Amara blinked. I'm sorry, what? You heard me. Jin-Woo's face stayed serious. I want you to teach me how to be like you. Happy. Friendly. Normal. But you're a CEO. You're rich and powerful. Why would you need to learn how to smile? Jin-Woo stood up and walked to the window. His back was to her. I have a business meeting next month in America. With family-focused companies. They care about personality. Warmth. Things I don't have. If I seem cold, I'll lose a deal worth 500 billion won. He turned around. I've watched videos. Read books. Hired acting coaches. Nothing works. But yesterday, when I saw you on the street, I realized something. You're genuinely happy. It's real. Not fake. I need you to show me how you do that. Amara's mind was spinning. This was the strangest job interview ever. So you want me to, what? Just hang out with you and be happy? Yes. For 1 month. I'll pay you 10 million won. Amara almost fell out of her chair. 10 million won. That's like $8,000. Is that not enough? I can dash. No, that's way too much. That's crazy money for just smiling. Jin-Woo tilted his head. You think you're not worth it? I mean, Amara didn't know what to say. In America, she worked at Target for minimum wage. I just hand out flyers. I'm nobody special. You made me feel something, Jin-Woo said quietly. In 10 years, nothing has made me feel anything. That's worth more than 10 million won. Amara's heart did that strange jumping thing again. The way he said it, so honest, so raw, it made her chest feel tight. Okay, she heard herself say. I'll do it. But I have rules. Jin-Woo raised one eyebrow. Rules? Yes, rules. First, you have to actually try to be happy. Not just pretend. Second, you have to answer my questions honestly when I ask about your life. And third, she took a deep breath. You have to promise this is really just about teaching you to smile. Nothing weird. A tiny, tiny smile touched Jin-Woo's lips. I promise. Nothing weird. Then we have a deal, Mr. Park. Call me Jin-Woo. Okay, Jin-Woo. His name felt strange in her mouth. When do we start? Now. We're going out. Out. Out where? You'll see. 30 minutes later, Amara was sitting in the back of Jin-Woo's Mercedes, driving through Seoul. Director Kong and the bodyguards were in a separate car behind them. So where exactly are we going? Amara asked. To places that make you happy, Jin-Woo said. Show me what you do for fun. Fun? Okay. Amara thought about it. Well, I like going to Hongdae. There's street performers and artists and dash. Hongdae. We'll go there. The driver changed direction. Jin-Woo watched Amara's face the whole time, studying every expression. Can I ask you something? Amara said. You said honesty was a rule. Ask. Why don't you smile? Did something bad happen to you? Jin-Woo's jaw tightened. For a moment, Amara thought he wouldn't answer. Then he spoke very quietly. My father was a cruel man. He taught me that showing emotion is showing weakness. When I was 8 years old, I cried because my dog died. He locked me in a dark room for 3 days with no food. He said, tears are for the weak. You are my son. You will be strong. So I stopped crying. I stopped smiling. I stopped feeling. Amara's eyes filled with tears. That's horrible. I'm so sorry. Don't be sorry. It made me powerful. Fearless. Rich. But it made you lonely, Amara whispered. Jin-Woo turned to look at her. The expression on his face was so full of pain that it broke her heart. Yes, he admitted. Very lonely. Before Amara could respond, something happened. The car suddenly swerved violently. The driver shouted in Korean. Jin-Woo grabbed Amara and pushed her down as bullets shattered the back window. Bang! 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 Glass exploded everywhere. Amara screamed. The car spun, crashed into something, and everything went black. When Amara woke up, she was tied to a chair in a dark, cold warehouse. Her head hurt so badly. There was blood on her yellow shirt. Jin-Woo, she called out. Her voice echoed. Jin-Woo, I'm here. She turned her head and saw him standing in the middle of the room, surrounded by 10 men with guns. His suit was torn. There was blood on his face. But his expression was calm. Jin-Woo, what's happening? A man stepped out of the shadows. He was old, with white hair and a cruel smile. Hello, nephew, the man said. Uncle Minho, Jin-Woo replied coldly. Did you really think you could take my territory without consequences? The uncle laughed. You're just like your father. Greedy. But at least he was smart enough not to care about anyone. You made a mistake. The uncle pointed at Amara. You were seen with this girl. Touching her. Looking at her like she matters. That was stupid, Jin-Woo. Very stupid. Jin-Woo's hands turned into fists. So now you choose. Uncle Minho said. Your life or hers? The warehouse was silent except for Amara's heavy breathing. She watched Jin-Woo's face, searching for any sign of what he would do. Would he really choose her? A girl he just met yesterday? Over his own life? Uncle Minho smiled his cruel smile. Tick-tock, nephew. I don't have all night. Jin-Woo's hand moved slowly toward his pocket. Every gun in the room pointed at him. Amara's heart stopped. She tried to scream through the cloth in her mouth, shaking her head desperately. Don't do it. Save yourself. But Jin-Woo pulled out his phone. What are you doing? Uncle Minho asked, his smile fading. Jin-Woo pressed one button. Suddenly, the warehouse doors exploded open. 20 men in black suits rushed in, all carrying guns. They surrounded Uncle Minho's men in seconds. Director Kong ran to Amara and quickly untied her, removing the cloth from her mouth. Are you okay, Miss Johnson? He asked urgently. Amara nodded, too shocked to speak. Jin-Woo walked slowly toward his uncle. His face was like ice. Did you really think I wouldn't have a tracking device in my car? That I wouldn't have backup waiting? Uncle, you taught me to always be 3 steps ahead. Remember? Uncle Minho's face went red with anger. You little dash. Your men have a choice, Jin-Woo said loudly. Drop your weapons and walk away with your lives. Or stay loyal to a dead man. One by one, Uncle Minho's men dropped their guns and raised their hands. They knew when they were beaten. Jin-Woo stopped right in front of his uncle. You made one big mistake tonight. You touched something that belongs to me. He looked back at Amara. Their eyes met across the warehouse. Something passed between them. Something electric, something dangerous, something real. Take him away, Jin-Woo ordered. Uncle Minho, you're finished in Seoul. If I ever see you again, I won't be this kind. His men dragged the old man away, screaming threats and curses. Jin-Woo walked quickly to Amara. Are you hurt? I don't think so. My head hurts and... She looked down at the blood on her shirt. Is this my blood? It's mine, Jin-Woo said softly. He touched his forehead where a cut was bleeding. When the car crashed, I covered you. Some glass cut me. You protected me. Tears filled Amara's eyes. You could have died. Yes. Why? Why would you risk your life for me? You don't even know me. Jin-Woo stared at her for a long moment. I don't know, he admitted. But when I saw you tied to that chair, when I thought he might hurt you, something inside me broke. Something I thought was dead woke up. And it was screaming at me to save you, no matter what. Amara's tears spilled over. Jin-Woo, I think I need to take you home now, he said quietly. This is too dangerous for you. I'll pay you the full 10 million won, but maybe you should stay away from me. No. What? I said no. Amara stood up on shaky legs. A deal is a deal. You hired me for a month to teach you how to smile and be happy. I keep my promises. Besides, she smiled through her tears, I think you just showed me something. What? That you can feel. You do care. You just needed the right reason. She walked closer to him. That's the first step to being happy, Jin-Woo. Letting yourself feel things, even scary things. Jin-Woo looked at this brave, crazy girl who had just been kidnapped and threatened, and somehow she was smiling at him. Teaching him. Not running away. For the second time in his life, Jin-Woo Park smiled. A real smile. Small but real. You're the strangest person I've ever met, he said. I'll take that as a compliment. The next 2 weeks were like a dream. Jin-Woo kept his promise. No more danger. He had extra bodyguards protect Amara everywhere she went. He moved her from her tiny apartment to a safe, beautiful place near his building. And every day they spent time together. At first, it was awkward. Jin-Woo didn't know how to relax or have fun. When Amara took him to Hongdae to watch street performers, he just stood there like a statue while everyone danced around him. Come on. Amara laughed, pulling his arm. Move a little. Feel the music. I don't dance. You don't smile either, but we're working on that. She started doing a silly dance, making funny faces at him. Jin-Woo watched her. Slowly, very slowly, his lips curved up. Then he did the most shocking thing, he moved. Just a little. His foot tapped to the beat. Amara's face lit up like the sun. Yes. That's it. You're doing it. People around them started clapping. Jin-Woo felt his face get hot with embarrassment, But he didn't hate it. Actually, seeing Amara so happy made something warm spread through his chest. They went to a noribang, a singing room. Amara sang American songs loudly and terribly off-key. She tried to make Jin-Woo sing. No, absolutely not. Please, just one song. I don't sing. You don't do a lot of things. Come on, try something new. Jin-Woo picked up the microphone like it was a weapon. He chose a slow Korean ballad. And when he sang, his voice was deep and beautiful and sad. Amara sat very still, listening. When he finished, she had tears in her eyes. That was beautiful, she whispered. But so sad. Why did you choose such a sad song? It's about being alone, Jin-Woo said. It's the only feeling I've known for most of my life. Well, you're not alone anymore, Amara said firmly. I'm here. They went to Namsan Tower at night. The view of Seoul spread out below them like a million stars. Amara pressed her face against the glass like a kid. It's so beautiful. Look, Jin-Woo. You can see everything. Jin-Woo wasn't looking at the view. He was looking at her. The way her eyes sparkled. The way she smiled at everything like the world was full of magic. Yes, he said softly. Beautiful. Amara turned and caught him staring. Were you even looking at the city? No. She felt her face get hot. Jin-Woo. I'm trying to understand something, he said, moving closer. How can you be so happy all the time? Even after what happened. You were kidnapped. Threatened. You should be scared of me, of my world. But you're still here. Still smiling. Why? Amara thought about it carefully. My mama used to say that life is hard for everyone. Bad things happen. Scary things happen. But you can choose. Let the bad things make you hard and cold, or let them teach you to love harder, smile bigger, and live braver. She looked up at him. I choose brave. Jin-Woo's heart did something strange. It hurt and felt good at the same time. You're teaching me more than just how to smile, he said quietly. You're teaching me how to live. Their faces were very close now. Amara could smell his cologne, expensive and mysterious. Jin-Woo could see the little gold flecks in her brown eyes. Jin-Woo, she breathed. I think I dash. His phone rang loudly, breaking the moment. Jin-Woo cursed in Korean and answered it. What? Director Kang's panicked voice came through. Chairman, there's a problem. Your business partners from America, they moved the meeting up. They're arriving tomorrow. Jin-Woo's face went serious. Tomorrow? That's impossible. We have 2 more weeks to prepare. I know, but they insisted. They'll be here at 10 a.m. Chairman, are you ready? Jin-Woo looked at Amara. Was he ready? Could he really be warm and friendly with these important businessmen? Could he smile and make them trust him? I'll be ready, he said and hung up. What's wrong? Amara asked. The meeting I told you about, it's tomorrow. The one where I need to seem human. Oh, okay, that's fine. We've been practicing. Amara tried to sound confident, but worry showed on her face. You can do this. I know you can. Will you come with me? To the meeting. What? But I'm not a business person. I don't know anything about Dash. Please. Jin-Woo grabbed her hands. You make me better. When you're near me, I can feel things. Without you, I'm afraid I'll go back to being empty. Amara squeezed his hands. Okay, I'll be there. We're in this together. The next morning, Amara wore a beautiful black dress that Jin-Woo had bought for her. She felt like a princess and a fraud at the same time. The American businessmen arrived, 3 older men and 1 woman, all wearing serious faces. They were from Family First Entertainment, a company that made wholesome TV shows and movies. Mr. Park, the leader, Mr. Thompson, shook Jin-Woo's hand. Thank you for meeting with us on short notice. Of course. Jin-Woo's voice was controlled, but Amara could see his jaw was tight. He was nervous. She touched his arm gently. He looked at her, and she gave him a tiny smile and nod. You can do this. Please, let me introduce Miss Amara Johnson, Jin-Woo said. She's my cultural consultant. Wonderful to meet you. Mrs. Chun, the woman, smiled warmly at Amara. You're American? What part? Atlanta, ma'am, Amara said. Born and raised. Oh, I love Atlanta. The food, the music. They started talking, and Jin-Woo watched Amara work her magic. She was so natural, so warm. She made everyone laugh. She asked questions and really listened to the answers. And slowly, Jin-Woo joined in. With Amara beside him, it felt easier. Safer. He told a joke, his first joke ever. Everyone laughed. Mr. Thompson clapped him on the back. Mr. Park, I have to be honest. We were worried. Your reputation is intimidating. But seeing you here, with Miss Johnson, talking about family values and wholesome content, I think we can work together. Jin-Woo felt Amara's hand secretly squeeze his under the table. They did it. The meeting ended perfectly. The businessmen signed the deal. 500 billion won secured. After they left, Jin-Woo turned to Amara. We did it. You did it. Amara laughed. You were amazing. Jin-Woo grabbed her and pulled her into a hug. It surprised both of them. Jin-Woo never hugged anyone. Ever. But holding Amara felt like coming home. Thank you, he whispered into her hair. Thank you for teaching me how to be human again. Amara pulled back to look at his face. Jin-Woo, I have to tell you something. I think I'm Dash. The office doors burst open. Director Kong ran in, his face white with fear. Chairman, Miss Johnson, you need to see the news. Now, he turned on the TV. A news reporter was talking urgently in Korean. Jin-Woo's face went completely pale. What? Amara asked. What's wrong? What are they saying? Jin-Woo turned to her. For the first time since she met him, she saw real fear in his eyes. They're saying I'm engaged, he whispered. To someone else. The TV screen showed a beautiful Korean woman with perfect makeup and an expensive dress. The reporter's voice spoke rapidly in Korean. What is she saying? Amara demanded. Jin-Woo, tell me. Jin-Woo's voice was cold and dead again, like the first day she met him. Her name is Song Mirae. She's the daughter of the biggest gang leader in Busan. The reporter says our families arranged our marriage when we were children. She claims I promised to marry her this month. Is it true? Amara's voice was small. Did you promise her? My father made that promise before he died. I never agreed to it. I told her family no 100 times. Jin-Woo ran his hand through his hair. But Mirae is dangerous. Her father is dangerous. If I refuse publicly, it could start a war between the families. So what are you saying? Amara felt tears burning in her eyes. That you have to marry her? Jin-Woo looked at Amara. Really looked at her. This beautiful, brave, sunshine girl who had changed his entire world in 2 weeks. The girl who made him laugh. Made him feel. Made him want to be better. No, he said firmly. I'm saying I choose you. What? I choose you, Amara Johnson. Jin-Woo walked to her and took both her hands. I don't care about old promises. I don't care about gang wars. I don't care about anything except this. You are the first person who ever made me want to live instead of just survive. And I won't give that up. I won't give you up. Amara's tears spilled over. But Jin-Woo, people could get hurt. There could be a war. Then let there be war. His voice was fierce. I've been fighting my whole life, Amara. But this is the first time I'm fighting for something that actually matters. Director Kong cleared his throat nervously. Chairman, there's more. Song Mirae is downstairs. She's demanding to see you. She has 20 men with her. Jin-Woo's jaw tightened. Let her come up. Alone. Sir, are you sure, Dash? I said alone. If she brings her men, my men will stop them. This conversation is between Mirae and me. 5 minutes later, the most beautiful Korean woman Amara had ever seen walked into the office. Song Mirae was like a model, tall, thin, perfect skin, designer clothes. She looked at Jin-Woo with cold, angry eyes. Then she saw Amara and her eyes got even colder. So it's true, Mirae said in perfect English. The great Park Jin-Woo has fallen for a street girl. How disappointing. Mirae, Jin-Woo said calmly. I respect your father. But I never agreed to marry you. That was my father's promise, not mine. Your father's promise, yes, your promise. Mirae's voice rose. Do you know what will happen if you embarrass my family like this? My father will destroy everything you've built. Let him try. Mirae laughed, but it was a mean laugh. You would risk everything for her? She pointed at Amara like she was garbage. She's nobody. She doesn't even speak Korean properly. She knows nothing about our world. You're right, Jin-Woo said quietly. She knows nothing about our violent, cruel world. And that's exactly why she's perfect. She's kind where we are cold. She's honest where we lie. She's light where we are darkness. He walked to Amara and put his arm around her. And I would rather have one day of real happiness with her than a lifetime of empty power with you. Mirae's perfect face twisted with rage. You'll regret this, Park Jin-Woo. I promise you that. Maybe, Jin-Woo said. But some things are worth the risk. Mirae turned and stormed out, slamming the door so hard it shook the walls. Amara was shaking. Jin-Woo, what have we done? We chose each other, he said simply. Now we deal with the consequences together. The next 3 days were chaos. Mirei's father sent threats. He tried to destroy Jin-Woo's business deals. He spread rumors. He even sent men to scare Amara. But Jin-Woo was ready. He had spent 10 years building his power for moments like this. He used every connection, every secret, every resource he had. And slowly he turned the tide. He found proof that Mirei's father was stealing money from his own allies. He exposed the old man's crimes to the other gang leaders. One by one, they turned against Mirei's family instead of Jin-Woo. On the third night, Jin-Woo got a phone call. It was Mirei's father. "You win, Park," the old man said tiredly. "I'm losing allies. Losing power. My daughter. She's crying for the first time in years. She really thought you would marry her." "I'm sorry for hurting her," Jin-Woo said honestly. "But I couldn't marry someone I don't love." "Love," the old man laughed bitterly. "We teach our children that love is weakness. Maybe we're wrong. Maybe that's why we're all so miserable." "Maybe," Jin-Woo agreed. "Take care of your street girl," the old man said. "If she can make a stone like you feel something, she must be special." "She is." The call ended. It was over. Jin-Woo had won. 1 week later, Jin-Woo took Amara back to Namsan Tower at night, to the same spot where they almost kissed before. "Why did you bring me here?" Amara asked. "Because this is where I realized something important," Jin-Woo said. He took her hands. "Amara, 3 weeks ago, I was dead inside. I had money, power, respect, everything people think they want. But I felt nothing. I was just existing. And now," Amara whispered. "Now I'm terrified," he admitted. "Because I have something to lose. You. And the thought of losing you scares me more than any enemy, any threat, any danger. You taught me how to smile, Amara. But more than that, you taught me why to smile. Because life isn't about being powerful. It's about finding someone who makes you want to be better." Tears rolled down Amara's cheeks. "Jin-Woo, I know this is fast. I know it's crazy. We've only known each other for 3 weeks. But in my world, you learn to recognize real things quickly, because fake things will kill you." He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small box. "This isn't an engagement ring. I'm not asking you to marry me yet. This is a promise ring." He opened the box. Inside was a simple, beautiful silver ring with a small diamond. "I promise to keep becoming better," Jin-Woo said. "To keep learning how to be happy. To keep letting myself feel things, even when it's scary. And I promise that no matter what happens, no matter who threatens us or tries to pull us apart, I will choose you. Every single time. Will you choose me too?" Amara was crying so hard she could barely speak. "Yes. Yes, you crazy, wonderful man. I choose you." Jin-Woo slipped the ring onto her finger. Then finally, he kissed her. It was soft and sweet and perfect. The city of Seoul sparkled around them like it was celebrating too. When they pulled apart, Jin-Woo was smiling. A real, huge, beautiful smile. "Look at you," Amara laughed through her tears. "Smiling like a normal person. I had a good teacher." "The best teacher," Amara corrected, making him laugh. They stood there, holding each other, looking out at the city. Two people from completely different worlds who somehow found each other and chose love over everything else. "So what happens now?" Amara asked. "Do I go back to America when my year is up?" "Actually," Jin-Woo said carefully, "I was thinking, maybe you could stay. Work for me permanently. Not teaching me how to smile anymore. I think I've got that figured out. But maybe as my partner? I want to start a new company. Something good. Something that helps people. And I need someone who actually understands people. Someone kind and brave and real. Are you offering me a job or asking me to be your girlfriend?" Amara teased. "Both. Definitely both." "Then yes. To all of it." Jin-Woo pulled her close again. "Thank you," he whispered. "For saving me." "You saved yourself," Amara said. "You just needed a reason. I'm glad I could be that reason." They kissed again as the city lights twinkled below them. The cold Mafia CEO who never smiled was gone. In his place was just Jin-Woo, a man learning how to love, how to live, and how to be happy. And the street flyer girl from Atlanta had found something she never expected in Seoul: a home, a purpose, and a love worth fighting for. 6 months later, Jin-Woo and Amara stood together at the opening of their new community center in Seoul. It offered free Korean language classes, job training, and support for international students and immigrants. Amara cut the ribbon while Jin-Woo smiled proudly beside her. People cheered. Cameras flashed. Who would have thought? Amara whispered to him. The scary Mafia CEO and the flyer girl, changing the world together. I would have thought, Jin-Woo said, kissing her forehead. The moment I saw you dancing on that street corner, handing out flyers with that sunshine smile, I knew my life was about to change. I just didn't know how much. Do you miss the old you? The cold, powerful one? Jin-Woo thought about it. No. That man had everything and nothing at the same time. This man, he squeezed her hand, has something real. And that's worth more than all the power in the world. I love you, Jin-Woo Park. I love you too, Amara Johnson. My sunshine. My teacher. My home. They kissed and everyone cheered louder. The street flyer girl and the Mafia CEO. The most unexpected love story Seoul had ever seen. And it was real, it was beautiful, and it was forever. The end. Thank you so much for following this incredible journey. If you loved this story of Jin-Woo and Amara, please subscribe to this channel to support our growth. Hit that like button, drop a comment telling us what you thought, and share this with someone who loves a good romance story. We have more amazing stories coming soon, so make sure you turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. Until next time, keep choosing love, keep choosing brave, and keep smiling. Red Heart.